I just want to start today's video report by offering my profound apologies to the Xavier basketball program and its fans nationwide, because yesterday should have been a day of celebration, and that's what it started out to be, because for the first time ever, you broke into the top 5 of the Associated Press's college basketball coaches poll. Right there, bottom rung, but you were there at number 5. Should have been a huge day. But then, of course, I put the jinx on you. I put the kibosh on your ranking, because yours truly came out with a 15-dime best bet on Xavier last night, a 10-point favorite at home against Georgetown. And Xavier, a team that had reeled off so many impressive double-digit wins this season, a team that had just one loss on the road to Villanova, a team that was undefeated at home, got upset and lost outright to Georgetown. And it's all on me, guys. I'm man enough to admit it. It's my fault. Now listen. I'm not going to take the blame for what's going on with you Duke fans and you Kansas fans, because your Blue Devils and Jayhawks, they have simply been awful lately. I'm not responsible for that. Xavier is on me, however. Okay, listen, guys, all your promos, all your discounts, etc. are over on the homepage. Chief among them, because the charity play of the week won again for their 5th straight week on Monday, courtesy of the hottest college basketball handicapper at the site, that, of course, being Chuck O'Brien. And if you have not yet made a donation, please do so. You can do it by simply scrolling here underneath the video report down my page and clicking on the link. Credit cards, PayPal accepted. It's a good cause, guys. It's a mother of 2 teenage daughters that is battling cancer and has been battling cancer for the last 3 years, needs some financial assistance, and I'm asking you once again to dig down and give, even if it's $5, just to give to help somebody else in a time of need, because you can never have enough positive karma in your life, or as a gambler either. And because the charity play won, remember, I am not beyond bribing you. You can save $175. I only offer this coupon once a month. Save $175 off the purchase price of any handicapper's 60-day package by using coupon code SAVE175, S-A-V-E 175. You can save $125 off the purchase price of any handicapper's 30-day package by using coupon code SAVE125. Remember, if you happen to be in a handicapper's package already and you want to extend it outward, well, let's say you had 20 days left and you want to buy another 60, well, then you'll have $80 or 80 days. You'll take that $175 off the top, and if you have any instant rebates, they are applicable as well. If you ever have any questions, you can always contact customer service. The big play tonight seems to be the Texas-West Virginia game. In fact, it's a consensus play. I went to Trace Adams, who has made guys, 40 grand over the past 5 months or so. $1 bettors up that much. He has another raise to bar 1,500 star play going tonight on the Texas-West Virginia game in Morgantown. Now, Anthony Red, who has his top-rated 100-dime college basketball winner number 13 out of 17, is on the same side as Trace Adams. So it's a consensus play. I opted to make Trace Adams, again, the discounted play. You get him for more than half price off. So check out the coupon codes, etc. over on the homepage. And again, if you have ever any questions, you always contact customer service. Now, let's get to your complimentary plays. The first one, I'm going to take a look at the game between St. Joe's and the University of Penn. I grew up in the Philadelphia area as a little kid watching college basketball. I think it was black and white at the time, or maybe I had a black and white TV. I don't really remember. But I remember watching Big 5 basketball because, listen, at the time, the 76ers, the first year I was old enough to really be aware that there was sports that you could watch on TV. The first year was the year the 76ers went 9-73. So needless to say, I gravitated toward college basketball. And the Big 5 was a big thing back then in Philadelphia. Now, the Big 5-member schools. You got Villanova, St. Joe's, LaSalle, University of Penn, and my Temple Owls. Some people want to include the Drexel Dragons, but I'm sorry, they're just small potatoes. There, I now pissed off everybody on 34th Street in Pennsylvania that attends Drexel University as well. But here's the thing. At the time, they used to always have the Palestra doubleheaders or tripleheaders, where you'd have 2 or 3 of the teams, all playing back-to-back games. And the Palestra is a place that was called the Cathedral. It still is called the Cathedral of College Basketball. Built in 1927, holds like 8,600 fans. So watching those games on TV growing up, it always made an impression upon me because they had so many different traditions. I think at one time when it was Big 5 team playing Big 5 team, whose ever team scored first, I think they used to throw streamers on the floor, and then they'd after the first bucket, and then they have to clean it off. I mean, it was a college atmosphere. So growing up and watching these games on TV, I was just overjoyed when suddenly I decided, well, hey, I'd like to have a career in broadcasting. So as a high school senior, I got involved. We had a full-blown TV studio back in the day, and I started doing high school basketball, and we had a really good team in Pennsylvania. So they had the District 1 championships, the big finals, the championship game at the Palestra. Well, I was excited because we're televising the game. I mean, my high school basketball announcing career was all of like 15 games probably at that point, but I was going to this game. The night before the game, I'm walking out to my mailbox. I don't know what happened. My ankle gave out. I rolled over the damn thing. Next morning, I find myself in a cast up to my knee for the next 8 weeks. So I was a little bummed, but I was not about to miss my chance to go to the Palestra to do a TV game. So we get down to the place, and of course, if you've ever been to the Palestra, you know you got to climb a zillion stairs. So I'm climbing a zillion stairs on my crutches, and then suddenly I see where we're setting up for the TV game. It's the Bird's Nest. It's up in the corner of the Palestra, because the Palestra, the bleachers come right down to the floor. It's right there. And back in that day, you know, unless you were a major television station, they weren't really ready to accommodate you. So being a local cable television station, we were up in the Bird's Nest. And I'm looking and I'm going, how the hell, after climbing all these steps on crutches, am I going to get up into this Bird's Nest, which had, of course, this little thin metal railing? And I'm looking, and I was ready to give up. And then I thought about it. I came all this way. Am I going to quit here? I got on my ass, and I literally pulled myself up step after step. Getting down was a nightmare. I will say that. It took 3 guys to help me down those damn steps. But that was the first big college basketball game I ever did at the Palestra. And then, of course, I went to Temple University, and then I was able to do radio broadcasts where they literally set us up. Our radio booth was actually like the 3rd row of bleachers in off the floor. You talk about being in a crazy environment. Now, a lot of great college basketball venues and out there. You know, the Pit in Albuquerque, I've been there. I've never been to the Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, but I'm sure everybody in the Indianapolis area feels the same way that every Philadelphian does about the Palestra. It's just one of the most unique, intimate, old-school buildings out there. Well, they gave up having doubleheaders a long time ago. It's been, I think, since 2009. Until they have one tonight, as they're trying to bring back some of the glory to the schools. Because years ago, what happened is that you had programs like Villanova that didn't want to play their games there. They wanted to play it on campus because they can make more money. It's just the sign of the times. That's been going on since probably the mid-'80s. But tonight, you've got a doubleheader. And the latter game is Penn hosting St. Joe's. Now, the Penn Quakers, they have been idle. I think it's been 11 days since they lost to Princeton at home in their very last game. And it was a 73-71 overtime loss in that game 11 days ago. They're going to be taking on a St. Joe's Hawks team that really has played exceptionally well this season. Only 3 losses on the year. One of them came to Virginia Commonwealth, another one to Florida, another one to Villanova. All 3 teams at one time or another in the top 25 in the various polls, right? So St. Joe's comes in here. They've won 10 of their last 11. Lone loss at home in that stretch to VCU, a team that has won, 7 straight games going into tonight's game for the Rams. They've beaten Rhode Island at home by 4. They beat George Mason on the road by 14. They beat Fordham at home by 25. Penn, of course, coming off that loss to Princeton. Ironically, St. Joe's also played the Princeton Tigers back in early December and beat them by 12 on their home floor. Penn, 2-7 in their last 9 games. The only wins came against a pair of cupcakes, Ursinus University and Binghamton. The Hawks, a 14-3 start this year compared to a team that went 13-18 last year. They had a dynamite scorer coming back in DeAndre Bembry, who's averaging over 17 points, 8 rebounds, nearly 5 assists a game. But where they really benefited this year is 6'7" senior forward Isaiah Miles. Lost like 20 pounds during the offseason, averaging close to 18 points. Shooting 53% from the field, shooting nearly 42% from three-point land. And they've got a couple of guards. Their starting guard, Aaron Brown, averaging almost 10 points a game. They've got another guard coming off the bench, James Demery, a sophomore, is averaging 9.5 points a game. So Phil Martelli's team has depth. They're more athletic. You have a very green Penn team with really only 2 upperclassmen starters that contribute on a regular basis. It's a big number with St. Joe's, but I think St. Joe's will be able to pull away and get the cover in this game. So I'm going to go with St. Joe's as an 11-point favorite in this contest. The other game, I think now is a good time to jump on the Fordham Rams. I know that they've hit the skids. Listen, this is a team that opened up with a season-opening loss to Texas Arlington. And, you know, I've talked about the Mavericks, Texas Arlington, many times this season, how good they are. And when you think about it, losing to that team, a team that less than 2 weeks later knocked off Ohio State and Memphis in back-to-back road games, it's not so embarrassing. And then Fordham reeled off 9 straight wins. And then the bottom fell out. They've now lost 5 of their last 6, both straight up and against the spread. But you have to look at who the hell they're playing. I mean, they have played some tough teams here. During the 9-game winning streak, they played a bunch of nobodies. The biggest win was against a rebuilding St. John's team. But now they're coming off blowout losses to St. Joe's by 30 points, to Virginia Commonwealth by, I think it was 34 points. And they lost at Boston College. They lost to George Washington. They lost at home to Richmond. Again, they're losing to the teams they should be losing to. I don't think they're losing tonight to George Mason. Everybody's going to look at George Mason and say, hey, Mason coming off a big road win, 92-79 at St. Louis. It snapped their 4-game losing streak. Big deal. The Billikens are awful. I mean, this is a St. Louis team that had lost 10 of its prior 12 games before hosting George Mason. And George Mason, the big number that they put up on the board in that game, 92 points, they hadn't scored 75 or more points in any single game this season. So you have a couple of factors playing into this line being so cheap, in my estimation, of 4 points. You got a Fordham team that on the surface, everybody says, oh, they've fallen apart. They've lost 5 out of 6. You've got a George Mason team. People go, oh, Patriots, young team. I think they have 3 freshman starters, in fact. Young team coming off a big road win. This is an underpriced line. I truly believe Fordham should have been a 6-7 point favorite in this game if you just looked at how these teams are comprised. And that's why I like the Rams. Of the 2 plays, I kind of like them equally tonight. St. Joe's and Fordham, as I talked about last Wednesday. You know, Atlantic 10 has kind of been my go-to conference this season. Back last Wednesday, I hit my best bet in the Atlantic 10 and then went 2-0 with the Atlantic 10 complimentary plays. So let's look to do that one more time tonight. So again, Fordham and St. Joe's, your complimentary plays. That'll do it, guys. Best of luck to you all, and I'll catch you again tomorrow when we do this one more time.